On today's episode, I'm going to cover some very basic and very popular design mistakes that I want to help you avoid, so stay tuned. What is up, designer friends? My name is Ron Segal. Welcome back to Flux. As you may or may not know, we sometimes challenge you, the audience, to practice your web design skills so that you can become a better designer. Now, right now, we've done a challenge called 30 Days of Web Design, and we've challenged people to design heroes of websites and post them as a practice. And I've been watching them, and there's some really fantastic work that you've been doing. However, I do see some common patterns and mistakes that you are doing. And I want to cover some of the works that I've been seeing for the last week and give you some pointers as to how you can avoid these mistakes and improve your web design. So let's dive right into it. So here's a common mistake, and this is a common mistake that I see probably because people are doing these websites just as a mock-up and they're not really designing the full page. And the mistake is this: the navigation that you have here on the website is actually huge. If you look at that, the size of the navigation links is almost at the size of the logo. So just imagine, like, even if you look at the width, of the screen, this login is probably like 10% of the width. That would mean that we have a login button, let's say in the width of this huge Instagram logo here. That is just way too big. So whenever you're designing, whether you're doing just a mock-up for practice or you're doing like a real web design, you want to test out your design in a full screen in your browser, put it on full screen, and then see what the sizes look like. Because things that look like it's okay when you're doing a mock-up or playing with your design software, when you put them in an actual browser, in a full width of an actual browser, that would look actually huge to you. Also, check out how much bigger this is than the actual paragraph text. So it's just don't make your navigation way too big. This is a very common mistake, and yeah, you want to try and avoid that. The next thing is, I'm looking at this web design, which is rather pretty. And I know what they were going for. They were going for something very minimalistic. And, minimalism is super trendy. It's pretty cool. That being said, when you're taking minimalism over the edge, it becomes kind of like too much. And I'm looking at this and I don't even know what's going on here, right? It just says destinations as a logo and then find your happy place as a button, but I don't know where I am. What are they doing here? Do they sell, is this a Zen meditation? Is this, holidays? Is this a hotel? Like, I don't even know what this thing is about. So you have to give context. It was actually Albert Einstein who said things should be as simple as possible, but not simpler. And this is an example where things have become too minimalistic, too simple, and I've actually lost context. So this is, again, this is too much. Don't go over the edge. Minimalism is cool, but you still want to give context into what this website is, why we should check it out, and so forth. The next example that I want to show you is very common in terms of the problem here is that there's just too many things going on. And the problem is not that there's too many things going on. There's too many things who want to grab my attention and to be the first priority. Now, we talk about hierarchy here all the time because, as I've said, this is a super common mistake. The idea with hierarchy is that you make a proper decision about what is the priority number one. Only one thing can be number one. Only one thing can be number two. Only one thing can be number three, and then you have all the rest. If there's too many things trying to be number one, I'm just lost here and everything grabs my attention. And look, there's a huge red Find a Pizza house here. There's a huge actual pizza almost at the same size and color as this thing. And then we have this huge pizza here. And then we have this red pizza here. Everything is trying to grab my attention. You want to be very ruthless in terms of your hierarchies. Just choose one thing as number one. And number one should be clearly above number two and number three. So you want to be very clear about these things. Now, here's another typical mistake. And the mistake here is that it really lacks contrast between the background images and the text on top of it. Really, you can't really read what's going on here because you need contrast. Now, there's multiple ways to do this. Ideally, you would put an image, you know, where the color of the background really is highly contrasted with the text, and there's, you know, a very clear area where you can place the text and there's not too many details behind it. Here, in this case, we have four different images. All of them are very, very busy. Some of them are already almost white themselves, so it really lacks contrast. If you're in that situation, if you have no control over, you know, the image or the details in the background, you want to put some color overlay or something like this just to create a fake, you know, darken the image just so there's contrast between it and the white text. But this is very, very common. You want to make sure that you avoid that by adding contrast. Next thing that I want to show is this one. This one, for example, you can see that it has a busy background, but because they've put a dark overlay on top of it, there is contrast. But here we have a different, you know, problem, which is kind of like alignment. I am not sure like what is going on here in terms of alignment. We have these objects which are centered, aligned relative to one another, but then they are also left aligned in the context of the whole layout. And then we have these things which are, you know, aligned to the right, and this one is kind of like bottom aligned to all of these things. And so we don't have a consistent, coherent way to consume this information. Usually, you know, people read from the top left and then they read kind of in an F pattern. They would read left to right, go to the next line, left to right. And so you want to guide their, you know, their attention. And here it's just like, I don't know if I should read on the left. I don't know if I should jump to the right. There's just like no balance and no alignment here. So you want to make some good decisions about the alignment and be consistent with it. This is another example of this same thing, right? Where you have the title here, and then you have another image to the bottom, and then some text here, and then some text here, and none of them is kind of like aligned to one another. And also, I would say that like from a visual balance perspective, you know, this image is very, very big. It's very, very prominent, you know, all the details are there, so it grabs my attention, but it's pulling us to the left bottom corner, while we do have things floating around in other directions, but I don't feel like this composition is very well balanced. Again, it's kind of pushing me to the bottom left when there's other misaligned elements going around here. So again, alignment, a little bit of balance would help. I'm not saying that it's not okay to overlay things on top of one another, but it has to be in context, and we have to think about, again, the reading experience. How do people come to this website and read it? The last example that I want to show is this one, which is actually, I think here we have like a good layout and good, you know, look at the navigation compared to what we said before. This is really good. The only thing here is that in terms of colors, the colors here are very, very prominent, right? Both these this, you know, dark purple and the dark gray, and because they are grabbing our attention, and they're actually very similar to the colors here on the car, right? Dark and this, you know, dark purplish. It's actually grabbing almost as much attention as the car. And so again, remember I was talking about hierarchies. We have again conflicting hierarchies because it seems like the car wants to be number one, but also these actually decorative elements, right? What's going on in the background is decoration, and it's almost as prominent as the car itself. And so again, when there's competition, it's very hard to understand where to focus. And I think it's very clear in a car website, you want to first focus on the car. That is kind of the main product, the main thing that you're selling here. So I would really back down everything that's going down in the background so that it's not taking up so much attention. So really either decrease, you know, the opacity or just a different color palette. You know, the one that we have here, like these light letters, that is cool. And these very small dots and stuff like that, that is okay because again, there's they are very low in terms of hierarchy. They're not grabbing too much attention, but the dark grays and the dark purples are way taking too much attention. And then we're again losing the hierarchy. All right, so to sum up everything that we've been talking about in here, you want to make sure that you're very clear and ruthless in terms of hierarchies. Make sure that the number one priority is the focus. Everything else is kind of backing back down. You want to make sure that you're always testing out your designs in the browser, in the real size, so that you can really see if things are not too big or too small. And lastly, while you want to keep things as simple as possible, you don't want to make them too simple so that we're actually losing context and not really sure where we are. Well, if you've enjoyed these tips, make sure that you're subscribed here. Make sure you like this video so that YouTube knows to bring you more of the awesome content that we're preparing for you. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.